Hello and welcome to the Fitness Professor. Today we will look at whether more sets also lead to more gains in terms of strength and hypertrophy, and whether significantly more sets still provide a positive increase. Yes, I would like to present you a nice study here from De Souza and colleagues, or Alice and Ennis and De Souza, and what they did is really crazy. They actually tested how many sets one can do before it might become impossible. So it's an extreme study. I will briefly show you what they did. They focused on the lower extremities and created 3 groups with 31 strength-trained, young, healthy individuals, including a control group. This control group already performed 22 sets for the quadriceps per week. What used to be normal, for me, is now almost unthinkable. With 22 sets, honestly, I found the control group to be quite a lot. And then she had one group that increased their sets by 4 every 2 weeks, and another group that increased their sets by 6 every 2 weeks, so that they ended up at 42 and 52 sets per week. What did they do? They trained twice a week for a total of 12 weeks. They performed squats, leg press, and leg extension. And as a supplement, they also did some Romanian deadlifts and leg curls, but probably just to ensure it doesn't focus too much on the quadriceps. They always worked with 2 reps in reserve, but the last set was always taken to failure. So everything was then measured, the 1 rep max, meaning the maximum strength was measured, and the cross-sectional area, which refers to muscle thickness, was measured at 30, 50, and 70 degrees of femur length. Yes, here's a brief overview of what was done in the baseline. All the examinations were conducted. Then there was initially a volume reduction, so the intensity was lowered a bit, a kind of washout phase. Then came the familiarization with this high number of sets. They were gradually increased until after 2 weeks they reached about 16 to 18 sets. And then the intervention started, where, as mentioned, everyone began with 22 sets per week, but only the control group remained at that level, while the other 2 groups significantly increased their sets every 2 weeks. So what came out of it? Amazing. It might be better for you to take a closer look at it now. Just hit pause and take a look at your leisure. But I want to show you 1 or 2 things here. First of all, everyone got stronger and everyone experienced hypertrophy. That's already a good thing. And I would have said this now, it might not have been so clear actually also with the 4 or 6 sets every 2 weeks more. It actually worked even a little better. So here we can, for example, take a look at the middle of the vastus lateralis and then compare the control group versus the 4 and 6 sets. There we see that fundamentally the participants were doing well overall. Here we can see a little drop, of course. I don't know if you saw this one here. So there was probably a participant involved. For them, it was definitely too much. But that is always normal, and we are also talking about overall values in the end and not individual values. However, it is important to always keep in mind that this does not apply to everyone, and there will always be some who are likely overwhelmed by certain dosages. Overall, one can say that everything has improved. Here you also see this extreme high volume approach for the 6-set group and the 4-set group. They really did a lot. Just think about it, 52 sets for one muscle. I don't think I've ever tried that in my life, and I don't know if I want to try it either. But in conclusion, one can say that it worked for all groups, and for those who did more, it also worked. And therefore, it must be said that ultimately, at the very end, the group that performed up to 52 sets showed no negative adaptations. And it would have been somewhat expected that a kind of ceiling effect would set in, where either nothing happens anymore or it might even decline. That was not the case here. So, an interesting study. Such a ceiling effect has still not been discovered, let's put it that way. But the question is, of course, can one manage to do 52 sets per week, perhaps for every muscle in the body? I believe not. Still, it's an exciting study. I hope you all try it out with a bit more volume and join us again next time.